Hi, everyone. Today we are with Julie Bostardi. She's an amazing stager, and we are going to talk about some expectations with home staging. All right, Julie, tell everyone who you're with. You have your own company, which is really awesome. And how long have you been staging people's homes for sale?
I started by becoming a certified home stager through a company called Home Staging Resource at the end of 2016 and opened up my own staging company, Stage Right Georgia, in early 2017. And it's completely different from anything I'd ever done before, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It is so much fun.
That's awesome. And you're so good at it too.
Thank you.
You stage a lot of houses for us. So we do love the service that you provide. So let's talk a little bit about types of staging. What types of staging are there?
There are two different types, vacant staging and occupied staging. Vacant staging, the best way to explain that is HGTV. They do a great job with that. It's where you come in, you take everything out, you usually renovate the space, and then they bring in all new furniture. You can do vacant staging, and there are a lot of people in Atlanta who do it. You usually have to either have your own stock of furniture or you have to go to a rental company and rent it. And then put it all out for, the open house and the showings and all of that. But most people are still living in the house. So vacant staging is not the majority of the staging. 99.9% of what I do is occupied staging, which means you are still living in the house while you're photographing it and showing it. And so we work with what you have. We don't come in and clear out everything. We work with whatever you have in your house, whether your look is traditional, mid-century modern, current farmhouse, rustic, anything like that. We're going to work with what you've got in your home.
Now, what is some of the most important things someone can do when they're getting ready to stage their home for sale?
I would say the two most important things would, number one, be clean your house very, very well right before the photographs. Then it'll be clean for the open house. And then as much as you can keep that up for the showings, the better. And do a really good deep clean. Clean those things we don't hardly ever clean, like the ceiling fans, all the vents. Magic erase bars were a wonderful creation. I don't know who created those, but those are great because if you go around and just look at all the doorknobs, the light switches, there's usually little smudges on those. Just clean that. When somebody is walking through your house and they see that kind of attention to detail, they think, well, this person maintained their home very well. Whereas if you go in one and there's scuff marks all over the walls, all the light switches are filthy, they look like they've been there since, like maybe 1920. Those kinds of things that they don't pay attention to detail. Then the second thing would be declutter. Obviously, if you're about to put a for sale sign in your front yard, you're planning on moving. So let's go on and start packing up today. A great way to start is depending on what season it is. Right now, obviously, it's summer in Atlanta. Let's pack up all those winter clothes. When we open up the coat closet in the hallway, I don't need to see, 10 big chunky winter coats with hats and gloves, or in your closet stacks of, sweaters and that kind of thing. Just that can declutter a closet and a room and, already make it look more spacious.
And take the focus off their things and put it on the house, which is what we want to do.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people think that they may need to go out and spend a bunch of money buying things to have their home staged. So tell me your philosophy on that.
I try not to make them have to buy a whole lot of things. As a matter of fact, we're usually doing the opposite. We're kind of trying to go on and pack up and get rid of some of the stuff in the house instead of bringing in new things. But there are a couple of core pieces, things that, just make the photographs really pop and really look homey and nice. That's things like green plants or, potted plants. It can be something just small that you put on the counter in the bathroom. It can be a larger, like green plant or flowering plant that you put on maybe the bar in the kitchen, a large floor plant that you put, like a ficus tree or a palm tree or something like that, that you put off in a corner. That green and that freshness just brightens up a picture and makes it feel more homey. Then you can almost never have too many candles. Sometimes you can, but for the most part, a nice set of candles on a coffee table, candles in the bathroom, candles around the bathtub, those kinds of things. It's just those little touches throughout the house really make it look nice and homey. And then, just some good decor here and there, especially bathrooms and kitchens.
So let's talk about the family members that have, or the families that have, or the homes that have children or pets. Some people think they have to get rid of all of their accessories. Do they have to get rid of them, or do they just hide them at, when the house is being shown?
We're going to hide those as best we can. You obviously cannot get rid of your children and your cats, although some days you might want to. But that's not a good idea. But for photos, especially, I tell people 100% for the photos, let's hide all the pet items. We don't need to see the dog's feeding bowl that might be multiple places in the house, the big bed they have, the crate that stays over in the corner. But the photographs, let's hide those. Hide those for the open house. And then as much as you can keep that up for the showings, the better. Same with children's toys. We're going to stage the bedrooms as children's bedrooms. We do want bright colored comforters, on the beds, with some stuffed animals on the beds. We can, still have cute little pink curtains with little lights around them, or in the boys' room, like a poster of Chipper Jones or Freddie Freeman or something like that, with a little baseball on the, dresser. Things like that are cute. We don't need the whole entire floor covered in Legos, or, a big kitchen here and a big slide over here and big toys here. So let's take the ones that they play with and use the most. And then other things, if we can store those, if the closet is big enough, off to the side, let's go on and pack up a few in boxes and go on and put it in the basement or the garage, and keep out the main things that they play with on a daily basis, so that the room it still looks like a child's room in the photographs, but it's not so crowded that you can't really get a feel for how big or how small the room is.
Julie, when you meet with someone to stage their home, how long does it usually take? And do you walk around and make notes, or how does that typically go?
Generally, for most of it, it takes about an hour and a half. If the home is a much larger home, it can take up to 2 hours. I have had ones that go over 2 hours. If the house has a lot of stuff in it and we really have to talk through a lot of things, that can take longer. But I come in and I just kind of explain the process to them. And we start usually at the front door of the house and do a floor at a time. We do garages and basements, and then we walk around outside. I'm taking notes the whole entire time, but whatever I'm writing down, I make sure I'm telling them, so that when I say you need to move that chest that was over in the corner, and they're like, that's not a chest, that's an armoire, so that we know that we're on the same page. And then I go home and I type it all up and I email it to them. And then it's up to them to interpret the plan. And when they get the report, it's divided up by room, and then it's just bullet points. So it'll say living room, remove the chest in the corner, take down the picture over here, add a plant here, this kind of thing. So it's easy for them to print it out and then just check off the things as they do them. I also tell people, one, nobody lives in a staged house. I'm not going to turn the camera around and show you my house because it's not necessarily cleaned and it's not staged. And nobody does 100% of the list. It's easy for me to come in and say, move this, hide that, get rid of this, add something here. I don't have to keep living there. You do. You've got to still function. Your family has got to still function in that home for however long it takes your house to sell. Hopefully that's just a week or two, but it can be, longer. And so it's got to function for you. So I try to make it easy. Moving, putting your house up on the market can be a very stressful time. I don't want to add more stress to them. And a lot of them are very anxious about what's going to happen and how this is going to go and what are you going to make me do, kind of a thing. And so I want to try to relieve some of that stress for them so that they don't have to worry about it too much. Plus, if they'll just kind of listen and do a good majority of the things on the list, the house is going to sell a little bit faster anyway, and that'll remove some of their stress also.
Well, awesome. Well, we appreciate you and appreciate your service. You do an amazing job. Can you just, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what would the best way to be for them to get in touch with you?
The easiest way is to call or text me. My phone number is 404-368-1666, or they can go to my email, which is Julie@StageRightGeorgia, and Georgia is spelled out, .com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
That's my website. It's Julie@StageRightGeorgia. It's a Gmail address.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Julie. This has been really helpful information. And until next time, Julie Bostardi. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching The Lowdown with the local market experts. You can find us online at lauramilleredwards.com, on Instagram at LME Realty, and on Facebook at LME Realty Group.